Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is. Lovely, lovely to see you all. I hope you are doing well. I see we've got plenty of incredible people here already. We've got the glorious Lestry in and Gaming Fishy all the way over from Australia. I mean, what time is it for you guys now? It must be what, sort of around 9 p.m? So hopefully perfect time just to ease into the end of the day and I can lull you to sleep with the nonsense that I spout. I hope you guys are doing very, very well. We've got Sipanak in as well, who realises that his username sounds a little bit like Yedinak, which is the perfect invite to today's J-Goat. Alphabet Goat. Today we're looking for the greatest players of all time whose surname begins with the letter J, or in the case of people that have mononyms, like Brazilian players, their shirt name. So that might even include the Dutch great Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, who for a period had just Jimmy on the back of his shirt. Welcome in, Sipanak. Lovely to see you, my dude. Welcome in, Sherbs and RJ and Winkinator. I hope you guys are all doing very well. I see Winky says that just come back from TwitchCon, feeling a little bit tired afterwards. Understandable. How was it though, Winky? Did you have a good time? So that's kind of on your back door, wasn't it, this year, as far as I recall? So we also have, I need to say thank you for the follow, Chonka. Great name, Chonka. Great name. And to Time War Pangle, thank you very much for following. Now, there's absolutely no obligation, guys, to chat whatsoever, but if you're comfortable doing so, I'd love to know who you support and who you're playing with in FM. Introduce yourself, but only if you're feeling comfortable. So G, you were going to go for JJ Okocha and Joe Ledley. Unfortunate. Well, I mean, Okocha's a bit of a way away, but Ledley's only 2 streams away. It's K next to JKL. It is, yeah. I know the alphabet. So it's 8 p.m. over in Australia on the East Coast. I almost got my maths right, but not quite. So RJ has suggested Geordie Cruyff. It was on his shirt indeed, and we've got Jairzinho as well. So we've got nominations so far for Juninho Paulista, Juninho Pernambucano, Jairzinho, Jedinak, and Geordie. I'm disappointed that no one yet has said the greatest J of all time, which is quite clearly Julian Joachim, or maybe it's Jussi Jääskeläinen. Now Jääskeläinen's a much better shout than Julian Joachim, but he didn't play for Villa, so, you know, the Lord he giveth, the Lord he taketh away. What about a little bit of Pat Jennings? Let's get a bit of Pat Jennings on the list as well. So for those of guys who are here for the first time and you don't know, every stream we go through a different letter of the alphabet to nominate the goat of that letter. And then somewhere near the end of the stream, I'll take what I think are the top 4 suggestions. So by that, it'll probably be the ones that have been mentioned most by you guys, and maybe a little bit of my own input in there. And then we take those 4 and put it out to vote, both here on Twitch and on YouTube, so that we can announce the J-Goat. Anoint the J-Goat even. Now, so far, can I remember all the goats off the top of my head? We started with Aguero. We followed with Beckenbauer, then Cruyff, then Del Piero, then it's got to be Eusebio, right? I think it was Eusebio. What letter's next? The next letter is F. Can I remember who won our F goat? Oh, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Who was our F goat then? Who was our G goat? H was Hazard. and the last stream was I, which was Iniesta. I'm really good with this whole memory thing. So welcome in, by the way, Shrednej Legaski. I'm not going to be signing Hamza, I'm afraid. So the way we're doing things, we're currently over in Brønshøj Bold Club in Denmark. We started in the 4th tier. We got promoted the first time of asking. We are currently in the 3rd tier, and we are 5 games away from potentially being promoted on back-to-back seasons. That's quite incredible, because the way we're playing this at the moment is that we have every single player is earning exactly the same amount. Every player has match highest earner clause. I lied. We have one player whose contract was here before we joined the club, who is on a little bit less, and youth players are on a youth contract. But every single player's played €380 a week. They have no loyalty bonuses. They have no goal bonuses or appearance bonuses. They have no agent fees or anything like that. It's exactly the same for every single player, which has made things a little bit tricky. It's difficult to build a squad when you're essentially looking for players that are worth less than what we're paying them, because players that want more, we just can't get to here, unfortunately.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Jonker, bless you very much. With the Prime, that is very much appreciated. You only get one of those. You've chosen to use it here. I really, really appreciate it, my dude. Not just is every single player paid equally, we also have no input on the tactics. So the rules that I'm running by is that I can only start to put tactical input depending on qualifications. So once I've got national license, I can start using the presets. Once I've got continental licenses, I can start changing the roles. And once I've got the Continental Pro, I have full reign. Unfortunately, at the moment, I have no qualifications. So that means I have to go based on my staff. So we are currently running with, let's have a look here, Ask Victor, our assistant manager. We hired him because his name is Ask Victor, and we have to ask him for the tactical input. He likes a control possession 5-3-2. And so that is what we're using. This is the default 5-3-2 default control possession. There are no additions whatsoever, which is why I'm shocked. I am genuinely shocked that this team of, to put it as politely as possible, not particularly great players are currently in line for our second successive promotion. It is quite something. Now we've got some more shouts in there. We've got another shout for Jedinak. Let's get that marked down as well. We've got a suggestion for Adnan Januzaj. Adnan Januzaj, Man United's greatest Albanian winger. How about a little bit of Ji-Sung Park? Let's get Ji-Sung Park on there as well. And Vinnie Jones. How can we forget Vinnie Jones? A beautiful suggestion. Now, there's a Michael Jordan, who's a non-league footballer in England. I'm sure that's who you meant. Also, Grizzly suggested Michael Jordan. He's so goated, he should be the goat of the sport. He didn't play. I mean, I'd love to agree with you on that, Grizzly, but we've seen how Michael Jordan was at baseball, and I'm unfortunately that kind of closes off the myth that he would be the greatest at all sports. Bless him. But he does try, right? So we've got a suggestion for Anthony Johnston. Let's get him down. We've got a suggestion for Jimmy John Stone. How many derivatives of Johnston can we get? I'm glad you enjoyed the bit of Ray Hudson. Who doesn't love Ray Hudson? It's a shame that he's retired now. And now RJ has done his on-the-lect suggestion. So we've got Milan Jovanovic. Let me get this written down. Roland Juhasz, the Hungarian defender, wasn't he? And Nenad Jestrovic. Let's get them on there. And so we're doing all right. And we've got 5 games remaining of the season. So the league is split in 2. I've played a few games so far, and I'm going to. So when we were last on stream on Sunday, and that was the Ishoy game. My internet dropped out during the Ishoy game, as far as I'm aware, and it kind of all kicked off right towards the end. Ishoy took the lead. We managed to get it back and win only our second game of that stream. We'd lost 3 out of the previous 5 games. Then off stream, I've played a little bit. We conceded an 87th minute equaliser away against Roskilde. We bounced back with a pretty decent win over Freeman Amager. Then 3 days later, we lost to them. Then we got a draw against 3rd place, Helsingør. They took the lead in the 81st minute. We responded within 3 minutes, which was quite nice. And then I finished off that little session with a 2-0 win over 2nd place and our big local rivals, Academics Bold Club. Now, I posted this up in the Discord. I'll pop a link over there in case any of you fine folks are wanting to join. I did pop a little screenshot up in the Discord yesterday. At half time, this game had 0 shots. 0 shots for us, 0 shots for AB. And I almost I almost got to the end of the game with AB not managing a single shot on or off target. Literally the very, very last, I was going to say last kick. It's the last header of the game. Was AB's first and only shot. But that's put us in a good position. We've now got a 5-point lead. Let me catch up a little bit with some of these. We've got a suggestion for Jugovic as well. Let's get Jugovic in there. Jovanovic played for Liverpool. One of the worst signings of the 21st century. I mean, there have been some bad signings for Liverpool. That is quite an honour to get. So we've got a little bit for Craig Johnson as well. Did we not have Mikey Johnston? We didn't have Mikey Johnston. We do have him on now as well. How about Joe Jordan? Oh, Scottish legend. Absolutely. Someone's trash is someone else's treasure along with Jovanovic. That's a fair point. How about a bit of Theo Jansen? A very underrated midfielder at Twente, Ajax and Vitesse. I quite liked Jansen when he was at Vitesse. I thought that he did look a little bit out of his depth at Ajax, but then I don't see as many games. I only really see it through the lens of highlights. How about Slavisa Jokanovic, and how about Kobe Jones? Kobe Jones certainly deserves a mention for some of the most fabulous hair that has ever existed. Now, before we head into our first match, we are going to play a little bit of word games, as Winkinator has redeemed that over on Twitch. So let's pop on over here, and I'm going to tell you guys how this works. It's relatively straightforward. So you've got some explanations on the screen. In a few moments, I'm going to reveal seven clues, essentially. You've got a mixture of anagrams. That's just where a player's name is mixed up. And you've got a mixture of player smash. With player smash, you get 2 clues. And the player's surname we're just looking for surnames for player smash. The last letters of the first clue's surname will be the first letters of the second clue's surname. So if we had the answer as Adamola Lukman and Sivert Mansverk, the last 3 letters of Lukman are M-A-N. The first 3 letters of Sivert Mansverk is M-A-N. So we'd be looking for Lukmansverk. It's very complicated. Probably a little bit too complicated for this early in the morning, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Spelling is going to matter. So you are going to need to have to spell the answers correctly. With the anagrams, it's the player's full name. So you will need their full name. With the player smash, it's surnames. And it's just a case of fastest fingers first. You can play both over on Twitch and YouTube. And hopefully... Oh, did that not work? No. Right, let me... Professional streamer moment here. Let me see what's happened there. I bet I know what's happened. No, that's right. Haha, there we go. I found it. Let's try one last time. There we go. And these are the clues for today. Pro streamer and everything. I'm looking for a player who's an anagram of annoyed maid, an anagram of gal's curveball, an anagram of as unfermented as, and an anagram of Sonata Union. I am also looking for a Kenyan midfielder for Dunfermline in the future of Spain, which is correct. Beautiful work there from Artemsia, picking up on one Yamal. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I haven't worked that out though, so now this is what makes things difficult for me. We are also looking for a player smasher, former Stoke, Shanghai and Inter striker, who will be smashed with a former Valencia and Brighton winger. And we're looking for Sunderland's Southern Haitian and England's Australian left back. And if RJ has gone down for Dimar Conte, I mean, you've got to every single time. I would be very, very disappointed if you aren't able to get there before. Now, I did see that Nicholas Jackson has been suggested for the J-Goats. I'll get him down on the list as Johnny Trotter comes in beautifully with Arnauto Vicente, which is beautiful stuff. Very, very well done there. That is obviously the former Shanghai and Inter striker, Marko Arnautovic. and the former Real Valencia. Was he at Levante beforehand? I think he might have been at Levante before. Vicente. And who we've got, beautiful stuff. That is Lestri picking up on Isidorigo. Wilson Isidore, you were correct, Liam. You were correct. The answer to the first one was Isidore. You needed to smash them across with the second clue, which was Tony Dorigo. That gives us Isor Dorigo. Which is, yeah, so Liam, you need to smash those names together, as you see. So it's the answer to the first clue and the answer to the second clue pushed together across the common letters. So now we're just looking for anagrams. We've got annoyed maid, we've got gal's curveball, we've got as fermented as, and we've got Sonata Union. Now I will give you guys a little clue. All of these players featured on an article I was reading about the best under 21 players at this year's World Cup. So we are looking for current players who are on the younger side. Could we get something for annoyed maid? We've got Gal's curveball, as unfermented as, and Sonata Union. Now the worrying thing about this is when I do these when I prep all this off stream, I think this I was doing on Tuesday evening. I can remember the first three. I can't remember what the fourth one. Oh, there we go. That's what the fourth one was. The fourth one is Antonio Nusa. I genuinely couldn't remember what it was, but that is some sensational work, Grizzly. That was indeed. A Sonata Union is an anagram for Antonio Nusa. So what can I tell you? What clues can I give you? Player number 3, as unfermented as, is expected to be transferred this summer. Actually, both 1 and 3 have had lots of transfer links. As Grizzly P once again picks up on Lucas Bergvall for Gal's curveball. It was indeed the Tottenham midfielder. So we've got one player playing in Germany, Austria, Germany, and we've got one player playing in England. And it is indeed, Chonka, Yan Diomande. Yan Diomande was answer number 1. Sensational work, sir. A point going your way. And then the last one, we're looking at a Premier League player who is expected to transfer this summer. That's a lie. Technically, they're still a Premier League player. They're not going to be a Premier League player next season if things stay as they are. So we're looking for as fermented as. A really tricky one, this one. Not least because I would have probably spelt his first name wrong if I was trying. But there we have, as that spelt correctly. Right, you don't need the thing. Liam over on YouTube. Beautiful work there. I'm going to pop that down. Liam Barnes, 9458. Point. Beautiful work. It was indeed Matches Fernandez. I popped the answer out there for you so no one else could sneak in and steal your point there. Sensational work. Sensational work, Liam. Beautiful stuff. So we had Yan Diomande, Lucas Bergvall, Matches Fernandez, Antonio Nusa, Arnauto Vicente, Juan Yamal, and Isidorigo. Wonderful. That is far too much mental work this time in the morning. I do appreciate. So let's head into something that is going to be far less taxing, which is listening to me saying Fisted over and over again, because that's who we're playing next. We're up against Fisted FC. I think we've beaten them both times this season. Is it like a 2-1 and a 3-1 maybe? It was indeed a 2-1 and a 3-1. So going into this game, we've got to feel reasonably confident. Mikael Linger's been injured. He's normally our starting right central midfielder. So Porsgrunn is in. Otherwise, it's very much the same lineup we've been running for most of this. So let's see how we get on. Let's see if the hidden luck multiplier is working in our favour today or not. So I'm cheating. I am cheating indeed, RJ. I am. What else would you expect from me? So let's head in. I need to remember I need to remember that right off the off, let's just check the speeds that we're at there. We're going to pop that up to 1.5, and we're going to move to our silly viewpoint. Where we're slightly above the manager. We're going to track the ball. And so we can keep an eye on what's going on. We've got our manager's view for the game as well. So I'm an idiot 9808. Welcome in, my dude. What was Janice Mustermann's fate in canon? He seemed to disappear in Zaragoza. So as I've mentioned on the channel a little bit before, there ended up being such a big gap between FM24 and FM26 that it didn't really feel like the save it didn't feel right to carry it on. The moment had unfortunately gone, sadly. So he's just stuck in perpetuity in 2029 in Zaragoza, trapped in some kind of time cube. What a time cube is, I have no idea. Liam, as a hammer, we won't be keeping him. No, sadly, it doesn't look that way, does it? But BDA, thank you very much for the kind words. Lovely to see you. And to see you, Nate. Lovely to see you, my dude. Mr. Grizzly, there are 10,000 fists in the air. There is going to be so much fisting. I mean, in the first 40 minutes, there's not been too much fisting, so it's okay. We haven't been fisted yet. We haven't even seen a highlight yet, to be honest, which is a little... I mean, I'm quite happy for that. If we draw every game 0-0, that won't be enough. That won't be enough to guarantee we go up. But that would probably put us in a good position. So I'm reasonably content with that. We've had a few shots. Oscar Svensson's been in a bit of a bad run of form, as has Victor Farborg, our backup. Winkle's on a booking, so he'll probably come off at some point as well. But actually, to be fair, we've struggled for goals. Victor Svensson scored 3 of our last 4, maybe. I think Porsgrunn scored the other one. So our strikers are having a little bit of a dip. We don't necessarily have much in terms of options to replace them because they're a bit rubbish too. But let's call upon Farborg. Let's call upon Hereford for the booked. Svensson, there's our goal scorer, is not particularly playing well either, apparently. So there we go. So RJ, you have mixed feelings about Anderlecht's new home kit. You like the fact it's a bit more traditional, but on the other end they changed back to Adidas, so you're not on the kit anymore. I mean, what is it about Adidas that you're not particularly keen on? I know people get very, very attached to certain kit manufacturers and they really like certain styles. I know a lot of people rave about like the Hummel stripes and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's just a purple and white kit, right? Yeah, it's all the same, right? Let's see. Come on, we're going to go up to attacking. One last change. Going to be, we need to bring Lingo on, get him some more minutes under his belt. It looks like we're heading for a 0-0 draw. Not a single highlight for the entirety of the game. That is quite pitiful. Oh dear. Start as we mean to go on, eh? 14 shots for 0.51 xg. That is an average of what? 0.035 per chance, and Fisted weren't any better in that regard. But still, a point's a point. That moves us a little bit closer. Welcome in, George III. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you? How's the week been so far? Sachonka, you've not made the transition to 26. You're still working through a save on 24 using your skin. Has women's football been fun and or worth it? Women's football's been brilliant. I really, really enjoyed the save that I did with Durham, which you can see over on YouTube, where Durham are the only team in England's top 2 divisions that isn't affiliated with a men's club, and the finances are really, really tough. And I love that change. I love the fact that that contracts are all very, very short. The transfer market just isn't quite as active, so it does become a real challenge in that respect. It feels a lot like some of the older Championship Manager games where if you're playing lower league, you basically had no money whatsoever. It's very much up my street. Kermit TV, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Good afternoon or pre-noon. It is pre-noon for me here, but it's afternoon for many of you folks. So what is time at the end of the day, eh? Bjorkman, Philip, how about the legend Joe? Man City's greatest striker ever. Let's get him down on the list. Fishy, you know that I love Cleveland teams. How much are you liking our Aussie slugger, Travis Bazzana? You see, now I struggle a little bit with baseball, which is crazy considering I do all the Moneyball stuff. But I've never fully got on board with the Guardians. I do watch them when I get the opportunity, but I feel uncomfortable with how aggressively the fans want to defend the Chief Wahoo character that used to be their logo. The Trevor Bauer stuff never really sat particularly right with me either. So I haven't caught much of them in the last sort of couple of seasons. So I don't really have much of an opinion on Bazzana, I'm afraid to say. How about a little bit of Phil Jagielka? A suggestion in honour of Crudmo, who is unable to be here. That's very, very gracious of you. How about Edgaras Jankauskis? There we go. Here comes the heart suggestions. Surely with the Latvian invasion, there's got to be multiple players with a J that I'm sure you could have suggested. You don't care about Adidas, just they removed the J. Fair enough. So, Sipanek, you usually tend to play teams that are relatively weak. I never knew how intense fighting Real Madrid for La Liga's Barcelona could be. Celebrating every time they drop points. I mean, it is good. A good, proper, top-of-the-table battle is wonderful. One of my favourite saves that I've mentioned before, I think it might have been FM23, might have been FM22, was with Sassuolo. And there were 2 seasons where I lost out on the title on the final day of the season. On the 3rd season, it went down to the last day again, and a Parma equaliser against Inter in the 80th minute won us the title. And genuinely, the emotional roller coaster that came from that was awesome. It was such a fantastic, fun save. It felt so good to have those years of just missing out followed by that dramatic final day. And the way that the result updates were going, I did not know Parma had equalised until we got to the end of the game, which just made it that little bit sweeter. Right, our next game, we've got 3 home games in a row. So we've got Roskilde, we've got Helsingør, and we've finished with 2 away games, one against AB, one against Fisted. Actually, if we draw against Helsingør, the most points they can pick up is 57. I think there's 4 games, they could pick up 10 points. Yep. If we draw against AB, the most points they could pick up is 55. So if we drew both of those and win 1 game, we will finish top of the league, which would be quite cool, I think. Right, let's make the changes then. Linger's coming in. Let's give both strikers the start. Is it going to tell me that both of them are unfit? Yes, it is. Okay, let's give Stojanovic the start and keep Svensson up there. Let's see if we can maybe create a chance in this next game. Just one chance would be nice, right? Okay, we've got some more suggestions in there. We've got Juan Fran. Let's get Juan Fran down. Let's get Julio Baptista as well. Sevilla's finest. No, not quite so good at... he was all right at Arsenal, to be fair. He was all right at Arsenal, just not quite maybe the level they were hoping for at the time. You love the Bayern experiment. Apparently in real life they are funded by Euro Millions. That is true indeed. They are indeed funded by Euro Millions winners. Bizarrely as well, their best player, Beth Heppel, her mother is on the board too. which made my save feel very weird as I sold her daughter. But I suppose that's also going to be a real possibility in real life, right? Lionesses are funded by a cheeky bit of defence contractor money. Are they now? That's disappointing. I mean, it's bad enough that they're really Millwall, but the defence contractor money is not much better, unfortunately. How about a little bit of Mario Jardel? Mario Jardel, indeed. And by the way, I did not say hello, GNG. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you. Bugger. Kierkegaard is injured. Kierkegaard was our leading assister. He has got 9 assists for the season. He's the only left-footed left-back we have as well. We do have a centre-back, Jonas Idris. He's left-footed. He can't play at wing-back, but we have played him there on a couple of occasions late in games. But here's Hereford now, getting on in that place of Kierkegaard. Hereford beats his man, cuts it back. Penalty, ref. Penalty. Oh, it's carrying on. It's yeah, we didn't score. It's a penalty. We've been robbed. Robbed, I tell you. Sir George has suggested Jim Jeffries, Sandy Jardine, my granddad would say Willie Johnston, and of course the greatest hit managers of all time, Lee Johnson. Let's get them all down. That adds to our lovely list of Mikey Johnston, Craig Johnston, Anthony Johnston. We are running through the Johnstons quite nicely as well. Lee Johnson there as well. Did you see that Moneyball transfer of Mohamed Al-Zoma, recommended by Tony Bloom's James Analytics, became the best Bundesliga 2 transfer, and his transfer price increased 16 times? Fascinating. I have not seen that. That is very, very cool. Right, I need to focus on the game because we've been bad. We've only created 1 chance, which we saw. It's otherwise been all with Skilder. We'll save the shouts. I might need to just bring speed down a little bit because I'm not really paying attention. We are going to bring Farborg on now at half time. Let's just bring that down so that we can kind of keep track of things. Down unbalanced. So, I mean, that's not going to help us have shots, I don't think. We've already got a lot of possession. So maybe we actually need to push up to attacking. We'll leave that like 10 minutes into the second half, potentially. Let's see what Roskilde have here for us. It's Wang. Wang on the wing. He caused us trouble. We've struggled with Wang before. And we're not really able to get close to him at all. We just can't get our hands on Wang. Here comes the ball forwards. Kosic there sends it in. We're 1-0 down. We are 1-0 down at home against Roskilde. It's time to push up to attacking then. So one of the problems with the way that we're playing is I can't really change the tactics. I don't necessarily have much diversity in the choice of players available. So it's just going to be a case of running through mentality and a few shouts and hoping we can kind of get back into this a little bit. So only Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have won more European golden shoes than Jardel. See, there's a great argument for it. Great argument for it. Let's shout some abuse at them. Here's Johansson. Back to Lichholm. We've got Carmona on the ball now. There's another ball, long ball for us. Larson cuts it out though.
It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
It's got to be offside. It's got to be offside. It is offside. Thank God for that. Welcome in, Bill Houdini. Thank you very much for the subscription. 18 months. That is quite incredible. Quite incredible. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Lovely to see you. Right. What can we do here? We have Mousic coming on. We have Del Suze coming on. Lingert has been the worst of the players. Did I put Linger in the wrong position? I did. Yeah, they're all that. Oh no! Sometimes when injuries happen, it changes players' positions, doesn't it? I think that might be what happened because I had the wrong player in defence. All of the midfielder in the wrong position there. So let's see if that can help us a little bit. Just having guys roughly where they're actually meant to be on the pitch should hopefully do us some good, right? Let's fire these guys up. So run speeders, is this the second division? It is indeed the Campo Bet 2 division. We got promoted in our first season. This is our second season so far. So Michelle Kang made her money in defense contracting and then a bunch of military medical services. Oh, that is disappointing, isn't it? That is disappointing. Right, the last change that we can make, we're going to bring on Brønshøj. And let's see if we can get something. We have had some shots this half, to be fair. We've also had 70% of the ball. So let's demand more into the last 5 minutes. Push to very attacking. I mean, it is a control possession system, right? We certainly are very, very strong in terms of possession, right? Can we get a highlight? That's all I'm asking for. Just a highlight. We did have one earlier as a shot that didn't come particularly close. Ah, bugger. There's the defeat. Right, I'm embarrassed by that performance. I am embarrassed indeed. Could we throw it away? So Igit, the answer might be too long for now, but when you start a new save, what's the first squad view that you make? You're trying to get into Moneyball, but feeling more paralysed than analysed. So Igit, the very first thing I do at the start of a new save is I don't touch views at all. I go into friendlies and I look through and I watch the players. I generally try and have an idea. So I will look at attributes now that with FM26, just to get a general feel of what the types of players are. I usually have some kind of tactical plan at mind. And that first season is a chance for the players that I've currently inherited to prove whether they can work or not in the system. And then once I've got a feel for what's going on, and I'm come to the end of the season I'm looking to analyse, then I start looking at the views based on what I'm trying to do tactically. Is dribbling important to me? I want dribbles. Is progressive passes important? I want progressive passes, and so on. And just move forwards that way. Welcome in, Cultured Left Foot. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you, sir? What time is it for you? You must be not too late, actually. Not too late, to be fair. Now, if you guys aren't following Cultured Left Foot, you should most definitely do so. An absolute gentleman. And hopefully I've managed to shout that out correctly. I have. Wahey. So the lead is now down to 4 points. Fremad Amager have jumped up to second. They've beaten out Helsingor. So that defeat isn't the worst thing for us, but it is getting ridiculously tight. 2 points separate second and fifth with 3 games remaining. We could do with getting back to winning ways, and that's not going to... 360k in the red. We're not paying for a specialist, I'm afraid. We only... He's under contract for 2 years. So every player got a 1-year contract, match highest earner clause, and we look at someone who hasn't been extended. I think Bilal Massad hasn't. An optional contract extension by club. I relatively recently extended the contract of Rasmus Kierkegaard. He's probably going to miss most of, 10 months. That's going to take us through to March next season. That's bleak. That is very, very bleak, unfortunately. So, goalless Svensson, goalless Farborg. Let's take a look at some of our players in the youth squad. So we had a new youth intake. None of them are particularly exciting. William Gredel was meant to be our best option there. He's got some agility. That's about it. And there's a midfielder, Jacob Print, who they had reasonable like on, but doesn't necessarily have anything special there. I think I'm going to call up Christian Dahl, who came through our youth academy last year, and he's going to get the start. Let's where's Lasse Junger as well? Lasse Junger has been on the fringes of the squad. I think we're going to look to introduce some young players just to freshen things up. for those last few games potentially. So leader on assist injured won't help great chances. Exactly. Right, Chonka's not willing to defame Michelle Kang, a rich woman. I'm not going to say that you did. Artemsia with another suggestion for Alistair Johnston. He's been a popular shout. But we also have Johnny Trotter coming in with Pat Jennings. That's another one for Jennings. We've got him there. We haven't had Joaquin mentioned before. Let's get him down on there. John Jensen we haven't had before. We do have the Juninhos though. Take your pick of regular, Paulista, or Pernambucano. I personally think it's got to be Juninho Bacuna. Definitely the best of the Juninhos. The best of the Bacunas as well. Better than Leandro. So your granddad says, if you ask any Scottish football fan over 70, they'd say Willie Johnston was the greatest player to ever kick a ball. Fair enough. I mean, that's a pretty good argument there indeed. What about Junior, the left back from 82 Brazil? Absolutely. Some people aren't a fan of the Alistair Johnston suggestion. What a surprise, eh? What a surprise. How about a little bit of Albert Johansson? Let's get Albert Johansson down on the list for sure. Do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? That does. We need to do that. If he stays, we certainly need that one for you. Coritiba, welcome in. Welcome in. How are you doing? How are you this fine morning? It is far too early. How about James Justin for a little bit of double J? Absolutely. Isn't there a Justin James as well? Oh, there's a Jordan James. There's a Jordan James. I think there might. Right, let's do this. Whole team meeting. I think we have to address our bad form and remind the players what's at stake. So we will take the assistant manager's advice and we'll say those things. So we've not been in good form, but this is a chance for us to kick things on. That seems like it matches what he's suggested. And they've responded well, so that's cool. Beautiful stuff. Oh, we're gonna lose the fucking league. We really are. We really are. The Culture Left Foot, you're working on some online data, FM analysis tools right now, so your stream is perfectly timed. How about that then? How about that? And it's me, Ronnie. Welcome in. Of course, a suggestion for Diogo Jota. Definitely get him down there. RJ, we have a break coming up in a few minutes. So what I'll do is I'll save bingo until after that, because otherwise the ads are going to come in kind of whilst we're playing, which is probably a little bit unfortunate. So if that's all right with you. Jordan James, parents are undecisive, it seems. It really does. Really does. Just as many first names as you can possibly fit in. How about Carsten Janker for the 80s kids? I mean, he was pretty good in the 90s too as well. We've got Joe Jordan already. That's another shout for Joe Jordan. Let's get him ticked off there, George. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. How about a bit of Kenwyn Jones? Make sure that I've distinguished him from the other Jones. Kobe Jones in there as well. Now, I don't want to influence people whatsoever, but as you all know, the best players in the world have all, somewhat surprisingly, played for Aston Villa. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence or something, but, you know, that's just the way it is. And I think on that basis, that means that Julian Joachim and David James should be on this list, but no one seems to be suggesting them for some reason. Maslin is back. Our goalkeeper broke his shoulder. Backup goalkeeper, that is, sorry. Dislocated his shoulder back in March. He's now back, so we can pop him on the bench. I've put Darlin ready to start, but we do have a break coming up. So we're going to go for that break. Be about 3 minutes. Then when we pop back, we'll play a round of bingo, and then we'll head into game number 3 at home against Helsingør. I will see you guys shortly. And we're back. We are back. Well done, Artemjo, for correctly identifying Keith Schmidt's sensational work. And I do apologise, Sherbs. Yes, it looks like when I set up the word games, I didn't quite remember to get all the disabling of commands after the answers were given. It's pro streamer nonsense. Now, as I said, we were going to play a little game of bingo as redeemed by RJ, so there should be a link now appearing in your chat windows. If you haven't played before, don't worry, the rules are really simple. Once I click start, every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. Those squares will have things like competitions or countries or clubs or awards. We then each see a list of 60, we are revealed 60 players, one at a time. We get 10 seconds to decide whether that player matches one of the squares on our bingo card. And if it does, you click on it. Once you click on it, you can't undo it. You can't put another player in that square. If they don't match one of those squares, you can let the 10 seconds run out, or you can skip. And by the end of the 60 players that you see, you will hopefully have managed to get all of them correct. You probably won't get all of them correct. The majority of us don't get all of them correct. But I have some remarkably intelligent people in this chat. There is usually one or two people who are able to get bingo. If you could go toe-to-toe with them, fantastic. If not, there is no shame. You will be like me, lingering somewhere around the middle and the bottom. So I'll give it kind of, say, sort of like a minute or so to give you a chance to sign up, and then we will start the bingo goodness. So it is a lot of traits for a 19-year-old. Keith Schmidt is a very good player. Is that a baby KDB? I feel like Schmidt is a bit more of a deeper player-ish, but he is a very good player. A very, very good player. Sherbs is bitter and dejected. I'm sorry. You just have to deal with it. In incoming 12 out of 60. Welcome in, Blue Lions. Lovely to see you. Welcome in, DM Bassist as well. Boo for employment, indeed. So you meant on the pick. I mean, okay, right, yeah, I suppose he does. He does a little bit, doesn't he? So he's got he's got the baby cheeks to go with it. So certainly does feel that way. Absolutely. Right. I think we are good to go. So if you head on over, if you've got this open in another tab, head on over now because the countdown will already be well underway. There's a slight delay between me speaking and it being broadcast on your devices. Here we go. We start with Armando Broja. Now it's about finding enough time. I'll just let the first few go because I want to get familiar with what I've got in these cards here. I've got Africa, I've got Brazil, I've got South America, Portugal, South Americans at Atletico Madrid, titles in 2 of the big 5 leagues, World Cup Golden Boot, Man City players, Euros winners, played with the proper Ronaldo, managed by Benitez, Leicester City, played in the Scottish League, played for Real Madrid, UEFA Cup Europa League winner, and Porto. Let's play Porto for Nicholas Jackson. Let's play, Josko for Man City. Wes Brown. Was he still at Man United when they won the UEFA Cup? I'm not sure that he was. Bit of Ansu Fati, maybe. I don't think he matches any of those, so we'll let that one run. Got Michael Reisiger, quality player. Netherlands never won the Euros. I'm just so bad with UEFA Cup winners. I'm never going to feel confident on that. Mauro Camoranesi. I don't think he matches any of those either. Laurent Koscielny didn't win the title with Arsenal. He's French, so I don't think he won any of those. David Calabria. I think I can skip on that one quite comfortably. Miroslav Klose. Did he win the Euros with Germany? I'm not sure if he did. He wouldn't have been in the 96 squad, I don't think. And I think he might... Oh, he might have done. Oh, well. Kim Kallstrom. I don't think he matches any of those either, unfortunately. A World Cup Golden Boot. That's a fair shout. A fair shout indeed. Salomon Kalou is Ivory Coast, so I can definitely play that one. Milos Kerkez. I don't think he matches any of those. Mark Hughes. Hasn't won the Euros with Wales. I won't have a World Cup Golden Boot. Won't have. Might have had titles in 2 of the Big 5 leagues. Marcus Acuna. Does he play at Atletico Madrid? He's not there currently, so I'm going to let that one run. I'm not feeling confident on that. I'm going to let Cassano go as well. Got Joshua Kimmich. Germany didn't win the Euros after 96 afterwards. There's the World Cup, wasn't it, in 2010. So we can't play him for that one there. How about Julio Cesar? We can play him as Brazil. Darren Fletcher. I don't know if Darren Fletcher ever ended up in the Scottish League towards the end of his career, but I'm certainly not going to risk that. Ever Banega. He went to Valencia, didn't he? I don't think he ever went to Atletico Madrid, so I'll just play him for South America. Emil Heskey, managed by the fat waiter, Rafa Benitez. Desiree Doué won the Euros with France. Radamel Falcao played for Atletico Madrid, and he's South American. Giovanni Elber. Played with Ronaldo, possibly with Brazil. But I'm not. I'm going to let that one. Fine. So Shinji Kagawa won the title with Dortmund, I think. Did he win it with Man United? I think he might have been there afterwards, so I'm not confident on that, unfortunately. Matthew Flamini, I don't think. How about João Cancelo? He's got to have titles in 2 leagues. I'm going for it. Hassam Awa, we're going to skip. Tosin Adawa Bio. Chelsea won the Conference League, didn't they? Ledley King. Going to be a skip as well. Peter Schmeichel heard. We're going to skip that one as well. Kasper Schmeichel. Absolutely. Nico Williams. Has he won the UEFA Cup potentially? I don't think he has. Alvaro Arbeloa. Too late to have played with R9. Oh, Real Madrid. I've been completely oblivious to Real Madrid being on there. Baris Yilmaz. I don't think he matched any of those. Orkun Kokshu. Don't think he matched any of those either. Matches de Ligt. Don't think he matches any of those. Kefram Turam also, I don't think so. Yossi Benayoun. Might have won the UEFA Cup with Liverpool. I'm going for it. Ser Kolasinac, I'm going to skip. Felipe Caicedo, I'm going to skip. João Palhinha, I'm going to play for Portugal. Ricardo Rodriguez will be skipped. Romario must have played with Ronaldo at Brazil. Oscar Cardozo is a skip. Sergio Conceição. No, he didn't. Alexandra Pato's a skip. Alex Iwobi. Has Alex Iwobi been on loan at like Rangers? He feels like the kind of player who might have ended up on loan in Scotland at some point. Right, we're down to 8 to come. Kylian Mbappe for a golden boot. We're looking for players in the Scottish League. Martin Skirtle, Dennis Bergkamp, Neymar, Alessandro Del Piero, Tony Kroos, or Achraf Hakimi. Achraf Hakimi famously played in the Scottish Leagues, and that was a pretty bad round for me. So Ancelotti not managed Neymar? I don't think he has he? He's called him up to the Brazil squad, I suppose. But that's only a relatively recent thing, right? So Blue Lion says that was rubbish. George says that was bad, that he was bad. Sherbs 11-16, that's a personal best. Got to the last one. No, I don't think Hakimi is a toffee. Nah, exactly. It seemed very unfair. So Mr. Grizzly, as always, up the top there, along with Johnny Trotter and Pramod. 15 out of 16. So close. So close. Then just one behind them was Artemsia and Jedi. And you guys are the ones who get the points. That's going to be 5 points each to Grizzly. Let me get this written out. Grizzly, Johnny, Pramod, 5. Artemsia and Jedi, you get yourselves 2 points each. Sensational work, chaps. And then it was Blue Lions. I mean, Blue Lions, you say that was rubbish. That's a pretty good score, considering how everyone else got on. And then we don't bother worrying about what happened below that, eh? We don't need to look below that whatsoever. Right, so RJ, you can't get good score when you get cards like played for Aston Villa. I mean, it's a tough card, let's be fair. It is a very, very tough card. So Jedi is you, as in Jedinak. Right, okay. Let me pop that down. I mean, this bonus thing is just my notes. So I didn't want it to add up the points automatically in case something went wrong. So it just writes all the information to a little text file. Right, let's head on into the game against Helsingør. We're going to bring the young lad, Christian Dahl, into the starting lineup. This is what we did last season. In the last handful of games, we brought Oscar Svensson into the starting lineup just on a whim, and he then went to score like 3 goals in 5 games or something, which was much needed. We're going to bring Mouset back in, and we've got Lasse Ljungers. Lasse Ljungers played a handful of games here and there as a substitute. I think that we might look at him coming in for... I've lost a player. Where's Linger gone? I've lost a midfielder all of a sudden. Let's see if that brings him back. There's Linger. So yeah, Ljungers could possibly come on for Linger. I think Svensson's had a pretty poor couple of games. Del Suze will come in. And let's see what that means in terms of players who are short of fitness. It's just the 2. That's okay. We can run with that, I think. It's always Villa. Always Villa. Unai is your bingo nemesis. Funny enough, he was at Sevilla and Villarreal. So yes, always Villa for Unai. What team is he going to go to next, though? That's the problem. He's starting to run out of teams in, say, the top divisions with Villa in their name. Right, we've got to say what the assistant manager tells us to say. And Christian Dahl has reacted well. Right, let's get our camera in position. We forgot to do that for the last game and we lost. I think that is a... there we go. We're right on top of ourselves. He moves it up. Zoom out a little. Lock on the ball. And here we go. This is why we lost the last games. We weren't in the right camera view, right? Arse Villa now. It's close. It's close. And obviously he was at Paris Saint-Villeman, quite famously. Right, let's see if we're starting off with a lot of possession again. And again, the 5-3-2 lends itself to us having the ball quite deep. We've got a lot of players in those first couple of lines, and it's always going to be a slight struggle getting up and supporting in the final third. Here we go. Juve with a long ball out wide to Homeland. Shohan back to Brems. Here's the cross. Juve is going to get onto it, and Juve, oof, going to go a little bit higher. Oh, not I accidentally went lower. There we go. That's the one chance of the game so far. Time to give a little bit of encouragement. See if that helps us at all. We've had a shot. Whee! We've had a shot. Hill-off beat to SC Villa in Uganda or Villa Espanyol in the Uruguayan second tier. I am here for it. And when he somehow manages to win the Europa League from Uganda or Uruguay, we will know there was something dodgy going on. Welcome in, Hungo Twan. Lovely to see you, my dude. How's everything going? How is yourself this wonderful week? We're in June. Can you believe? Can you believe it's June already? It seems madness to me. Right, let's go to a bit of demand more. We've had a few shots now. Doing all right. Let's also go attacking for the last 10 minutes or so of the half. See if we can You know, maybe end it on a high, and then we'll bring it back down at half time just to keep it under control. Let's move our view up a little. Here we go. What have we got? This is the final minute before injury time. And there is just 1 minute of injury time. And it's given away carelessly by Winkle. Here comes Holmland. Right, there's the run from Juf. They couldn't release him before, but Budash sends it in. Homeland with the header, and we're 1-0 down. We're 1-0 down. Oh, dearie me. So back to Jay. Radi Jaidi. There we go. Tunisia's great defender. RSCVA is Royal Sporting Club Villa Anderlecht. I believe you, RJ. So footballers with J surnames, that's what we're looking for, hung them in indeed. This is rotten. We deserve to lose the last game. We deserve to win the first game. Well, I say we deserve to win the first game. Was it 14 shots, 0.51 XG? So maybe not. But I feel like the stats suggest we've been in an okay, if uninspiring position in the first half. Feels a little bit harsh to be 1-0 down. Neither team has really done enough. But we've seen a lot of these flat 4-4-2s that we're struggling with. I mean, yes, I do feel we've been unlucky, but also at the same time, we're bringing it on ourselves. So we drop down back down to positive, head into that second half, and let's see what we've got potentially. Another suggestion for Phil Jones, beautiful stuff, and one for Daniel James, and we've got Nicholas Jackson as well. There we go, beautiful. We don't want to go up anyway. Well, there is that element as well. I actually would be quite happy for us not to go up. How about a little bit of Ali Reza Yahambaksh? Let's get him down there as well. Juninho in the GOAT race. Go. Absolutely. Which Juninho are you particularly looking forward to? Oh! It's offside anyway. Hit the post. That's slightly more encouraging. So we're about to concede immediately after I say that. Or are we going to counter? Here, Fort. Can you send it? Lad? No, you can't. But we do still have it. It's not so much of a counter now, but this is a nice move. We're moving it nicely. Mouse it, cuts back, sends it across. Del Souza's shot is blocked. Right, pause, Grun. Are we going to keep the pressure on, or is it just going to peter out? Winkle. Yeah, as he goes to cross, it's no longer a highlight. Right, Winkle's got himself in the block. Winkle's got himself in the block. That is absolutely true. Right, AB are winning. Roskilde are losing. We're going to bring off Winkle because of his yellow card, which means Lishoy comes on. We're going to bring off Linger for Junger. And we're going to bring on Svensson for Dahl. That's a couple of our young changes in there as well. And last time we pushed up to attacking, we conceded. So let's do it again. You know, what's the definition of madness? Doing the same thing over again and expecting different results. We're going to fire up as well. We've done a bit of encouragement. We've done a bit of demanding more. We want to keep it varied. Otherwise, they get bored of the same message from us, right? That hasn't yielded any chances yet. But maybe I spoke too soon. Here's Idris. Idris gives it away. Now is the Helsingør counter-attack. Juf is just kind of running in weird circles. The tackle doesn't stick though, and here they come now. Budash beats his man. Budash sends the low cross in. It's well saved. Well saved from Brun. Yeah, maybe attacking is the problem. Right, here Fort is looking knackered. We don't have any left backs left, so we're going to stick Idris out there. How about we just bring a striker on in midfield? So there is one other thing we've got. We've got two other tactics we can look at. We've got Nissan. That is our fitness coach. He's got a 4-2-3-1 tiki-taka. And we've got Skov Christensen, who I think might be our head of youth development. I can never remember what their jobs are. So we could switch that way, but we haven't tried them out. Maybe we go for the tiki-taka. We go tiki-taka. Let's undo all these. That can be Idris there, Larson, Spasijevic, Herford. Saporsgren and Younger are the midfielders. Mouset can play. He can play behind the striker. So that would be Stojanovic on the right. So that gets us another striker on the pitch. Del Suze, Mouset. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. We have absolutely no preparation in this approach whatsoever. We've not tried at any point. Let's see how we do. Let's get some others on there. We've got James Justin as well. We don't have Wim Jansen, but we do now. We don't have Mattis Jensen, but we do now. We don't have Jan Youngblood. I do not know Jan Youngblood, I must confess. Right, here comes Helsingor with the corner. Larson going to send it in. Diouf at the far post. We get it clear. But Budash has got plenty of time and space, and that's 2-0. That's why you don't change tactics. That's why you don't change tactics to something you haven't planned. Oh my word, these last couple of streams have been brutal. And what was it? When we had the title run in, the couple of streams before that, we won like every game. There was one where we drew like every game. But these last two streams have been absolutely brutal. Did you ask Victor before changing tactics? No, I'm unhappy with Ask Victor. He was making us lose, so I asked someone else. Disappear for a bit and come back to Musterman holding his head as his team trials. Nature is healing. We've been shite, Lou. We've been so bad. It's very worrying. Very worrying. So you say there's DMC, there's no music at all. I can see it on my lovely little audio thing. It is a little bit low in the mix. I can possibly turn it up a little. Let's pop it up a couple of dB. There we go. Oh, no singing music. Oh, right, yes. Yeah. There's no celebration music whatsoever as we lose yet another game. I mean, 2-0 is harsh, but we're not playing well. I mean, that's ultimately it. We are not playing well whatsoever, which is a bit of a shame. But these are the issues we have, and we should have had a lot more situations like this. The fact that we don't have any control over our tactics, we have a very, very limited run with our. Let's start criticizing. Cool. Criticizing the 18-year-old feels unfair as well, but let's see if anything can do that. We've basically, all four of our strikers haven't scored in a very, very long time. So this is more what I was expecting of the season, both seasons. We need our coaching badges, man. We need our coaching badges. It is... How long has it been since I last requested? The request is no longer there. So let's try for what I think might be the 7th or 8th time in this save so far. We've been rejected every time. Maybe 8th time's the charm. It's not. It's not. I mean, it took me 4 years with Durham to get them to agree to send me on a course. So sadly, we still can't do anything. And this might be something, and I'd love to hear your input on it, that we have to think about for future seasons, about whether maybe we are allowed to have some freedom somewhere in there. Maybe we can say each off season we learn something, because without any any progress. There's no real building of the story or the character of the manager either, unfortunately. So Not G, welcome in, by the way. How do you grow a club's finances? You struggle with growing your balance so you can have better transfer budget. I mean, so generally, there are only a few things that are in your control. Those things are transfer spending and wages. You keep a control over them, then you're going to be generally okay. If you watch some of the videos, you'll see where I look over what I cut, how much money I expect us to make in revenue, and how that will then inform what I set my wage budget to be. By making sure that I stay under that, I'm ensuring that I'm turning a profit, and that's going to grow the transfer budget accordingly. Right, the youth contracts are going to expire. That's absolutely fine. We're not going to sign any players. The window is closed. We've got 2 games left. There is now just 1 point that separates us from third. 51, 50, 50, 48. If we lose the next game to AB, they will jump ahead of us. We could potentially, Freeman and Helsingor don't play each other. We could drop down to 4th as a result of the next game, potentially. So Youngblood was the keeper from the 74 Netherlands. There's a shout. Not having your own tactic is rough. It is rough. It is very, very rough. But that's how it is. Last stream, we lost those 4 games and for some reason increased our lead. It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? So Rafsa, welcome in. Lovely to see you. When you started a new save, what's the step-by-step that you're running? The step-by-step is quite simple. Arrange friendlies, play friendlies, learn about your squad. Basically, as simple as that. Your best way of being able to learn about your players is by seeing them in action. Things like staffing, I tend to leave. That'll be something that I will develop as the save goes on. But I'm very much a believer in inheriting what you've got and learning about them before making any changes. So I almost exclusively start with the transfer window off. It has to be said. I also have a tendency to keep staff until their contracts expire as well, because I don't feel that it's very realistic until I'm an established manager for me to go in and start terminating contracts. Right, Massad's back in. Horswim's going to play instead of Linger. Yeah, let's go for that. We're going to drop down to balance straight away because we're away from home. I think that if we can just keep it tight, keep a draw going, that would be perhaps in our best interest. We'll see how things go. It's time to put an end to this bad run. I couldn't agree more. Remember to drop down to balanced. Let's get ourselves above us. I want to make sure that I'm kind of middle. There we are. That's up. That's there. That's the zoom out. Here we go. Big game away against our rivals. We beat them 2-0 in the home game earlier this season. We managed to restrict them to just 1 shot with the very last touch of the game. They've already had 1 shot so far. Again, we're doing okay in terms of possession. Not really doing okay in terms of creating any chances, however. Let's see, 10 minutes in. Let's encourage these guys. So it took you 1 try with Baseggio for Anderlecht to accept my continental studding. That's disgusting, RJ. How dare you? How dare you get that luck? Maybe based on manager rep changes when you get promoted. I hope that was the case in the summer after we got the first promotion. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe after this season is over, we'll get lucky. As Engel takes the shot, just that's a little bit high, a little bit wild. So the Hearts mascot is called Jock the Jambo. That's a great J name. Ali McCoist once put it on during a game he was attending. Jock the Jambo is a great name indeed. Welcome in, Ocean Man. Lovely to see you. Long-time viewer, first-time live stream viewer. Glad you finally woke up early enough to catch one of these. Love the FM content and nerdery, sir. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for dropping in. I really appreciate it. Who are you playing with in FM at the moment? I would love to know. So RJ has redeemed a game of Only Connect, which we'll head to after this match. Lestry, what's a challenging wank? Oh, the zoomed in shot of Otis Musterman. I don't know. I'd be quite. I'm quite open to that there. When they start paying fines because you're not qualified enough, they'll accept. I mean, it's the will still approach, right? It's the will still approach for sure. We have been rubbish on balance, so let's move up to positive. Oh, this is brutal. So, DM Basis, can you submit Jardel as your GOAT? You can. He's already on the list, but I will pop down another mark for him. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Mario Jardel, right? Right, here's Mouset. Come on. Svensson beats his man. Svensson shoots from a long way out across the ground. That's an easy save for Benedictson. But we have had a shot on target. It might not have been the highlight, though. That might have been the pre... No, that's fine. That was the highlight. So Hereford struggling. No one's necessarily having a bad game per se, but nobody's standing out in any respect. If we can get through though to half time at 0-0, I'll be quite happy. Just a little bit more encouragement before we get there potentially. So Abu's Cod, what is the camera angle? So this is using the custom camera mod from Bassy Boy. It's part of his Stadium mod, so you do have to download all 70 gigs of the Stadium, but you don't have to install the Stadium mod as well. So I just use the free camera, and then I can move the camera around, and I've decided to move it to the dugout for a more realistic view. It's 0-0 at half time. That's something that counts. That's good. That's good. I'm going to swap the wing backs around. Both of them can play as left wing backs, but both of them are right wing backs. So I don't want to be too harsh on Hereford. He is playing in a position he's not necessarily suited to. We struggled this summer. I mean, so Rasmus Kierkegaard, our boy is now out for 10 months. He was through the transfer room. I don't know if we would have had a left wing back if we went normally, because no one was released. That was then willing to join us. So let's yeah, we're not doing great. We're going to do a little bit more encouragement. Del Suze. Yeah, let's bring Del Suze off for Svensson. Telling the strikers that they need to play better hasn't made any difference. Lushoy is coming on there. I think maybe Dahl is coming on as a substitute in a moment. Mouset is probably our best player. Oops, sorry. So Mouset is probably our best player in terms of an attribute profile. But he's playing rubbish, so they're both coming off. There might not be any more substitutions. We could bring Lingo on. We could. But we haven't seen any highlights for AB in this second half. Well, we've seen one highlight for AB in this second half. If we can get a draw away from home, that is a good result. So you really like playing the game from the linesman's perspective with them? Yeah, and it's great being able to play. It's quite fun doing it, sitting in the crowd as well. Or one of my other spots that I quite like is up the floodlights. Just watching from behind the array of floodlights is quite fun. Okay, we've got a draw. We've got a draw. That's 2 boring 0-0 draws on this save. That's fine. Going into the final game, we are 1 point ahead of Fremad. We are 3 points ahead of AB. We can't finish lower than 4th, but Helsingør have moved on to top spot. Our last game is away against Fisted. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. So Ocean Man, you're playing FC Andorra these days. Got promotion to La Liga in the second season. We're about mid-table in your first season in the top tier. Beautiful stuff. It's a good save, Andorra, as well. Pardon me. So yeah, we could miss out on the last day, which again, as RJ said, I don't mind. I don't really want us to get promoted, if I'm honest, because we're not good enough to get promoted. It was ridiculous. That stream when we moved top, it's like, how on earth has that happened? But to have then been top from about 16 games in until the penultimate game is just a little bit galling. Just a little bit galling. So you ask, have I asked Victor about roles? I haven't. Let's do that. Let's do this for the last game. We'll ask him to do the roles. We've now got loads of pressing wing backs. Got loads of no-nonsense centre-backs in a control possession system. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, we can't do that during the game. That option disappears during the game, which is a bit of a shame. Brønshøj are camera shy. They don't like when chat is watching. Evidently. I don't want a tight fisting. I mean, George, it's almost Friday. Fridays are for DILFs. So I absolutely do want tight fisting. Sorry. Where's the not safe for work thing? I do apologise. Welcome in, Crobmo. Lovely to see you, my dude. Love me to see you, dude. I'm pulling a hearts. I really am. So your favourite ever save is Athletic Club. You do one every year. Something about the Basque-only transfers and how they run their club is so satisfying for me. For sure. Have you considered doing it with... I mean, I know it's much more extreme with Athletic Club, but have you considered doing it with, say, Sociedad or doing one of the other regions? You're doing it with Andorra at the moment, but maybe you could do Catalan with Girona or is Valencia Aragonese? I'm going to claim it is and hope no one looks it up. And just hope no one looks it up. Right, we have a round of only connector players. RJ did redeem that during the game. So let's pop on over to a little round of only connect. Now, if you guys haven't played this before, don't worry, I'll explain the rules. In a few moments, you're going to see pictures of 4 players revealed one after the other. Your job is to work out what the common connection is between those 4 players. You will get a point for being the first person to identify each player. You will then get a number of bonus points depending on how early you're the first person to identify the connection. So if you get it after the first clue, you get 5 points. After the second clue, 4 points. Third clue, 3 points. After the final clue, 2 points. So let me get this all ready to go. That lovely little command there means that it shall start accepting answers. So here is our first clue. Who is this chap? Who is this chap and what might connect him to 3 players you haven't yet seen? Quadmo is correct. It is indeed Alberto Gilardino. Gilardino? I've never called him Gilardino before, but I'm going for it now. That's how he will be known for forever here. It's pronounced Poirot. I've got a parrot for Mr. Why are we... What's going on here? I'll ignore that. I can't be pulling a heart. I've not run from the stadium crying. Not yet. That's the thing. There is plenty of time as we potentially throw it away in the final game of the season, right? So Lestri has gone for played in China, which is a fabulous guess. It's not that, but he has indeed played in China. He scored the first goal at the new Wembley. Is it someone who's managed national teams? They're fine. They played for all the teams in Italy. He has played for a lot of them, to be fair. Coached the team he played for. Was it Pizzini who scored? Pizzini who scored at the new Wembley. They have a reptile in their names, so like the Gila monster. I love that suggestion. It is none of those, though, unfortunately. Because the next player up is this gentleman here. I mean, he's got an animal. He's got an animal in his name, Mutt, spelt incorrectly, of course. But Crobmo, once again, on the fasted fingers there, is correctly got Adrian Mutu. Thankfully, he got that before I kind of gave away his name, because I forgot that part of the game. So Ocean Man was saying, your only issue with doing it for another region is you don't think a Catalan nationality is tagged in the game, is it? I thought the Basque tag was unique just for Athletics Club's rules. That's a very fair point. A very, very fair point. So is the link to do with cocaine? It is not a link to do with cocaine. They have both played for Fiorentina, but the link is not Fiorentina. Is there a link to Pepsi? Is it that they are from a country that is not in the World Cup? Too soon, RJ, too soon. So we're going for played for Parma and Fiorentina. It's not that either. Opening goals at the Euros is a fabulous suggest. It is neither that. It's not that they've coached national teams, sadly. Let's get to the third clue. We've got this chap here. We've got this chap. Who is this fabulous chap there? So is it that they've played alongside Buffon? That is not the link I'm looking for, unfortunately, Johnny. But there might well be a possibility that they have. And Crodmo has correctly got that this was Alan Boksic. All Football Italia legends, they are. That isn't a clue in its own right, sadly, unfortunately. Johnny, you are right. Crodmo needs to slow down. I think Crodmo isn't top of the leaderboard, and he's getting a little bit upset at that. Bless him. Bro, they have all coached national teams, but that's not the link I am looking for. That is not the link I am looking for. Is it first names that begin with A? We've got Alberto Gilardino, we've got Adrian Mutu, we've got Alan Boksic, but it is not first names begin with A. Is it all forwards? It is not all forwards. Who is the last player on this list? Who is? I mean, we're about to find out when I reveal it. Could it be that they've played with Juan Sebastian Veron? Is it played for one single Premier League club? It is none of those, sadly. Because this is our final man here. I don't know. I don't think he's coached the national team, unfortunately. And Crodmo once again. Oh my word. Kekaj and Johnny and Artemisia were mere seconds away. I do remind me to ban Crodmo in the future. We finally have Enzo Maresca. So we've got Alberto Gilardino, Adrian Mutu, Alan Boksic, and Enzo Maresca. It's the all known by Crodmo. Oh, and they are all known by Crodmo Icor. Welcome in, by the way, my dude. Lovely to see you. Could it be UEFA Cup final winning goals? It is not. It is not UEFA Cup final winning goals. I can say it now. You give Crodmo the players. I don't. I genuinely. We were having a conversation when we were watching the Champions League final on Saturday. We were having a conversation there, and that gave me an idea for one of the mini games on Sunday. And I was like, oh shit, I can't use it. I can't use it because we had this conversation, which was very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. So is it that they've all been sacked by Chelsea? They have not all been sacked by Chelsea, unfortunately. Is it that they're all the age of Crodmo? Pretty much roughly. So Crodmo just knows Mustermann too well, unfortunately. Did they all play in the 2001-2002 season for Hellas Verona? They didn't, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I can give you another clue, and the clue is we are looking for a common manager, and that is, as RJ has said, must be a coach. We are looking for someone who has managed all four of these chaps. So you know it, RJ. Beautiful stuff. I mean, you got there. I think your comment came through before I'd even started talking about it as well. No idea who it is though. Is it Ancelotti? It is not Ancelotti. Is it Mourinho? It is not Mourinho. Is it Trapattoni? It's not Trapattoni, sadly. It's not Malasane either. So Mustermann is an enigma wrapped in a question mark, served up in a riddle. No man knows Mustermann. I am all those things. I'm all those things. So we've got Ancelotti, Mourinho, Trapattoni, Scolari, Spalletti, Ranieri, Prandelli, Capello, all fine suggestions. There is perhaps just one. Well, there were many Italian managers that have been missed, but there was at least one more that we could go for, and it's not Cesare Maldini, unfortunately. It is, however, Marcello Lippi, and it does look like Grizzly got there just before Chonka. Beautiful stuff. That is 2 points to you, Grizzly. Sensational work. So he managed Alberto Gilardino at Guangzhou at Evergrande. He managed Adrian Mutu at Inter. He managed Alan Boksic in his first spell at Juventus, and he managed Enzo Maresca in his second spell at Juventus. You didn't know Guangzhou. I mean, yeah, Guangzhou is going to be like that. That was deliberately put in there as a real There's a real curveball, unfortunately. Wait a second. Boom. Yay, Quadmo. Thank you for doing that. That has confirmed that I've managed to set up that command correctly. Malasani managed 3 of them, but not Boxic, unfortunately. That's a shame. That's a shame. Sensational work there, though. Beautiful, beautiful job, guys. And now we've got one more game left of the season away against Fisted. Let's see if we can do enough. So Fremad are playing AB. So a draw. If we lose, we will drop a position. Because if Fremad win, they go above us on points. If AB win, they go above us on goal difference. If Fremad draw and we lose, our goal difference goes down to 13. Fremad go above us. So we can't lose. If we draw, we will be promoted if Fremad don't win. And obviously if we win, we're absolutely fine. Also, if we draw, if we draw and Helsingor lose, we will go up. I think. I think I've got the maths right. So Ocean Man, the only person you knew of those 5 was Enzo, so you need to learn more football history. I mean, that is of Chelsea's big cash injection that went south after his for cocaine. Boxic joined Middlesbrough right at the end of his career, but was absolutely phenomenal in the 90s. We've got some bids coming in for... Why am I ever going to accept a bid for nothing? We've got one game left. There is no accepting that bid. So, Robot Musterman. Okay, yes. I know what that might be. Let me sort that out. I don't think I set the affinity this morning. There we go. 3 processor cores turned off. That should do a little bit better once we click continue. I do apologize that. 10,000 fists in the air again. So has this recovered a little bit? Has this recovered? We're okay again. Beautiful. Beautiful. It would be typical if the internet goes out. If the internet goes out during the final game of the stream for the 2nd time in a row, I will lose my shit. I won't. I'll probably just get OBS to record it so I've got proof of the rest of the game. So let's see here. We've got an ad coming up in a 10 minutes or so. Right, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the ad forward a little bit because I don't want it to happen in the middle of the game. When we come out off the back of the ads, we will put a vote in for our... We'll start the vote for our J-Goats, and then we will head in to play the last game of the season. Cool. So I will see you guys in about 3 minutes. Right, and we're back, and the J vote is up now on your respective chat windows. So who is the J GOAT? We have got Juninho Pernambucano, we've got Jairzinho, we've got Mario Jardel, and we've got Joe Jordan. We'll have that poll running for about 10 minutes. Over on Twitch, it automatically ends. On YouTube, I'll end it manually, and we'll tally it all up together to see who is the J GOAT. And whilst that's going on, we've got our final game. We've asked Victor for player roles. We've now got a target forward. We've got a centre forward. We've got a channel midfielder. We've got some no-nonsense centre-backs. We've got a covering and 2 stopping centre-backs. We've got a line-holding goalkeeper. What's our defensive line? We've got a line-holding goalkeeper in a... Oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Oh, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea, but hey, let's go for it. You know what? I'm going to bring in Linger. Let's see what role it gives Linger as well. He would just be a regular central midfielder. This is gonna go bad, I am sure, but it should be fun at least, right? So Ocean Man, you said that you only started paying attention to football in 2015 when Klopp took over. Been a fan ever since. You just don't know a lot of pre-2010 football history in general. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, that's completely understandable. Your frame of reference is always going to be from when you started to get involved in the sport. Oh no, he wants us to say something like that's tempting fate as well. And we've got to go with his suggestion. So there we go. He's made our goalkeeper anxious. He's made me anxious. We're going to pause. We're going to get ourselves right in that dugout. Oh, I've got it looked like slightly ginger eyebrows, but actually once you get close, it's not quite as ginger as it looked. Get that there. Zoom out a little. Let's pop ourselves onto extended. Let's ramp this up for the final game of the season. A draw might be enough. That's a defeat. We are definitely staying in the 3rd division. So let's see. I did miss a couple of comments in there. So Oshman, you asked, does YouTube or Twitch take a bigger cut if I were to throw dollars at you for the entertainment over the years? So in terms of it's a very different offering. So YouTube takes a bigger cut. I get a better return off Twitch. But if you're looking at things like I think is it called super chats or something along those lines, I generally would say don't do that. If you want to subscribe, Twitch will probably be better. Plus, in terms of like these mini games and things, there's slight bit of a delay on YouTube, unfortunately, which I can't avoid. That said, YouTube, you've got the membership, which is something entirely different. That will give you access to director's cut version of videos, plus things like my spreadsheets and any kind of resource that I use over the course of me playing the game. So that's kind of something different. You don't get that with a Twitch subscription. Twitch doesn't have those like members only videos or anything. And we're 1-0 down. Oliver Thumbo completely through. That's on the side. That's on our right hand side. There was no defender there. Let's see this replay then. So from the long ball forwards, Idris beaten to it by Beluli. And look at that. He's just running through. Nobody picking him up whatsoever. A simple one-on-one, fires it pretty much. The goalkeeper ducks. The goalkeeper ducks underneath the shot. Right, let's fire these guys up. Pop ourselves down to balance. There's a lovely ball over the top, but no one was picking him up, sadly. Victor could be a genius that's ahead of his time. I doubt it, but there's a chance. We can only hope. We can only hope. So John Lennon shades on there. Unfortunately, it was the closest I could get to these like serial killer vibe glasses that I have. So we went with that rather than the more standard frames. I'm short-sighted, so these glasses are not helping me see this game whatsoever. As Svensson takes another shot from distance, and it wasn't a particularly good one by any stretch of the imagination, unfortunately. So it's content over being content. Exactly. Muster Lennon is what we're going for. We go up to attacking. Now, when I've gone up to attacking in the past, we've conceded pretty much straight away. So let's see if we're about to do the same here. Here's Baluli charging down that right wing. Can he swing it in? He can indeed, and that's... Oh, that's spilt by Brune. Poor old Brune is anxious, and it's showing. We get it clear. We get it. It's a shot was charged down by Larson. It's a corner kick. Right, let's demand some more. Got Spasievich to Winkle. Yeah, we're 1-0 down. We haven't won in 4 games. Now's the time to be doing cheeky little Cruyff passes in your own defensive half. Here's Hereford, out on the left. All on his own. Plays it back inside. Idris feeds it in. Svensson, that's a penalty, ref. We've got a penalty. Oh my. Don't give Brune any spaghetti. His arms are all spaghetti. All spaghetti. Here's Hereford with the penalty.
Goals for Brønshøj, it's Brønshøj who scores goals, it's Brønshøj who scores goals, it's the goals for Brønshøj. Always should be someone you really love.
There we go, we finally get to break out the song. Goals for Brønshøj. Kasper Hereford, our stand-in left back, with the moment that we needed. Oh my. We're gonna fucking lose the league. It's not looking good. I don't need those glasses to look like a serial killer. It just helps. It just helps. George, last day of the season needing a draw. You've seen this movie before. We don't... I appreciate it's still far too fresh for you guys. We shouldn't talk about it. Henriksen with a shot from distance. And can we come away with a counter-attack here? No. He's just going to punt it out of play. I'm going to tell these... I'm going to wait for that highlight to go. I'm going to just try and relax these guys if we possibly could. Thank you, Ocean Man. Welcome in over on Twitch for the follow. Equalizer, just as you switch over to Twitch. Clearly that's it. I've needed you over on Twitch all this time. You were our lucky charm. They are the Dalma shades for sure. Right. Okay, nothing happening from that one there. That's absolutely fine. Currently, AB are winning. Helsingør are drawing. Well done on controlling possession. Let's run into this second half. Nice stadium. Maybe we should have headed over to the box on the other side. We don't need to be in the dugout. We can just keep things going as they are, then I'm absolutely fine. As we say, a draw might well be enough. There's a small potential that we can win the league with a draw, which is in its own right a little bit crazy. Here's Svensson. Svensson back to Linger. Plays it back again. There we go. Into the channel. Get it into the box, lad. Or don't. Don't get it into the box then. Here's Linger from distance. Linger! Oh, it's a great save from Stricker. Oh, what a save. What a save. As that happens, we're getting the votes coming through. We've got... Let's have a look. We have a winner. And as far as I can tell, Mario Jardel has 0 votes. Mario Jardel has 0 votes. Joe Jordan has 2 votes. Oliver Thumbo I didn't even see the goal. Here we go. Let's see it again. Beluli down that right wing. He's gonna send it across. Thumbo meets it on the volley down past Brun. Right, let's fire up. We've been fisted by the Thumbo. Oh, check out how he flies because of his ears. See what you did there? It's a Dumbo joke. It's not Jova just yet. It is over now. So we have 5 votes for Jorginho and 8 votes for Jairzinho. Jairzinho is our J goat. Can Hereford be a goat? An H goat? He is not going to be an H goat. Stricker claims it. That save from Stricker is looking huge right about now. Right about now. That was an incredible save. And that might be the difference. What's happening here, though? Can we get to it? No, they're going to send the ball forward. And well taken from Brun. Brun, look at these guys out here. Here we go. Good lad. Maybe I just need to click all the passing options. Right, out wide. Out wide. Okay, out wide this side. That's fine as well. Right, here's Hereford. Sends it in to Mouse it. Mouse it can't quite get there, but we keep it alive. Winkle, that shot is poor. That shot is awful, my lad. Right, Hereford's got the goal. He's looked quite enterprising down the left, but he's tired. Or he is tiring, at least. That ball into the channel. No one's racing for it. But unfortunately, there is not a single situation where if we lose, we can go up. So we do need to get a goal back here. Spasijevic gets fouled. Or concedes the foul. Right, on comes Svensson. Now, he had him as a channel midfielder, so I can't ask the roles. I can at least remember that they used the channel midfielder rather than a central midfielder when they had that. Can't remember what the out of possession was. I think it might have just been a regular central midfielder. So we'll see there. No, Ocean Man. Yes, you're going to have to just keep on coming back and forwards just so we can get a goal. Here we go then. So nobody nominated Jova, but unfortunately it is Jova now. It's fine because we've got Calvin Miller now. Have Hearts signed Calvin Miller? Interesting. Flashes over. I mean, I didn't think it was even going to be that close, to be fair. Robbery. So Mousett's coming off. Right. Let's go back to the Victor default. I'm going back to that because there's I don't know what the specific role should be. So it was going to be Horsgren down there, Linger there. Hereford is tiring. I'm going to bring on Del Suze. Del Suze is right-footed. He's not particularly fast, but we will. It's an attacking midfielder on, just for a wing back in the hope that that does something for us. Here's Farborg out to Del Suze. Gets it back. Come on now. Come on, send it in, Del Suze. Del Suze with the magic. No, Stricker with another great save. RJ, don't worry. Don't worry. The 17-year-old will be coming on. That's for sure. It's a double thumbo fisting. It really is. It really is. Here's Idris. Come on, sends it into Svensson. Back out to Idris. Can he find it? He's find Svensson. Svensson is offside anyway. Right, on comes Dahl. Farborg is now going to play out on the right wing. Dahl is surely not... He's got no strength. Svensson's got no strength, but that's the default thing there, so we're going with that there. We're going to keep on firing up. It's going to be a corner for Thisted. Hildahl to take. Hildahl swings it in low at the near post. Grabak Hansen has it. Keeps it alive. Sends it in. Beluli over the bar. Extended highlights at least has given us some highlights. Here's Del Suze. Plays it down the line. Dahl, 17-year-old lad. He's on. He's running down there. Plays it back to Del Suze. Svensson across to Porsgren. Svensson And Linger with a rubbish shot. It's another wasted moment there. Unfortunately, we probably need to... It would be great if we could add on something like Works Ball into the box or something like that to stop us from shooting from distance quite as often. But maybe here's a chance for Thumbo again. They send it forward. Well dealt with by Larson. Now Svensson's going to... Good highlight. Good highlight. Svensson tried to pass me the ball. Unfortunately, I'm not playing. If we can get them under pressure. Ostervig Nilsson just waving, man. We'll keep on waving. Long ball forwards. Beluli's going to get there. Idris with a great tackle. Right, Linger into Porsgren, out to Spasijevic. Don't sit on the ball. We need a goal. There we go. Out to Farborg. Come on, Linger sends it forwards. That's overhit, and that's a goal kick. Not much of a highlight there at all. So that set of highlights was the ball being overhit for a throw-in and the ball being overhit for a goal kick. Now here comes Anderson. Anderson looking to put the final nail in our coffin. Finds Sandstrom on the edge of the box. Nysen to Sandstrom. Sandstrom back to Grunvik Leibalk. Gilden Love Leibalk. Sandstrom. Oh, it's a good save from Brun. It's a good save from Brun. We've got to go very attacking. We've got to demand more in the last few seconds. Here's Linger out to Farborg. Svensson, can he get it in? Svensson! The corner's here. Here's the goalkeeper is up. And we don't get a highlight from it. Boo! Boo! Right, Norgar. There is still 2 minutes left. If we can win the ball back here. Not though if Beluli's going to do good work like that. And Anderson's still on goal. Anderson hits the bar! Come on, we need to... foul, tackle, do something, lads. Do something. Don't hold on to the ball for ages. Right, Idris into midfield. Here's Svensson. Finds Dahl. Dahl, can he get it? Look out wide. Not that way. We've really struggled passing this way. The poor old Farborg out on the right wing has been in acres of space almost every time we've pushed forwards. All right, another throw in. Yeah, not that wide. Too wide. Too wide indeed. Delsus into Dahl. Dahl to Svensson. Boo! Boo! And with that, our biggest rivals jump above us on goal difference. Oh, pain. Pain. Helsingør lost, so if we got the equaliser, we would have won the league. A pretty fair game, and when a game is even, it's not unreasonable that one team wins narrowly. We've got a lot on to deal with. Oh, that is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Now we've only got ourselves to blame. We did finish in the end with the best defensive record in the league, but our form at the end of that season was absolutely god-awful. We've scored 1 goal in the entirety of the last 5 games. Damn. We didn't win the fucking league. We really didn't. We'll win it next year. Hopefully. We need to work out something in terms of some form of tactical control. It hurts. It does. Hello, darkness, my old friend. George, you're starting to think you're a bad omen. I'm not going to blame you whatsoever, George. I am blaming you. It is all Hearts fans' fault. What a bottle job, says Naufel. It really was. Look at that run of form. Absolutely atrocious. I didn't pull a Hearts, I pulled a Rangers. We were snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. The thing is, so where was game 16? It's this game here. November, we ended the stream and suddenly we were top of the table. I'm not really sure how we made it to the top of the table. And then we carried on doing all right. We had a few defeats here and there, but nothing major. Actually, no, it has been all since we've come back. Since we've come back, it's just been a pretty torrid run. So that second half of the season, not great. Maybe some elements of the adjustment because we've done much better than expected. I'm going to guess that we're still down as being favourites to be bottom. Oh no, our odds came in to 150 to 1 in the end. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of work on. We need to work out what we're going to be able to do tactically as well, because if we're going to keep on getting rejected for coaching badges and we have no agency, it might be something that becomes pressing. So maybe we'll take some inspiration from somewhere that we can have something. Yeah. So I finished third in a 2-horse race. I really did. So Ocean Man, you ask if you can send a few bits in here. I'm going to suggest heading over to the Discord instead, because that is the season over now. And with that being the season over now, that kind of makes a good point to end the stream. So I'm going to be bringing it all to a little bit of an end, I'm afraid. If you want to keep up and chat with the guys as well, do pop on over to the Discord link that's in there. Some awesome community. I absolutely love you guys. There's a load of nonsense. Let's be honest. There is a lot of nonsense in that Discord. Far too much talk about pineapple on pizza, even if I am a fan myself. I'm going to end the stream over on YouTube first. So everyone over on YouTube, a massive thank you for dropping by today. I really appreciate it. To Nowful, obviously Ocean Man, I know you're over there. Gaming Fishy, to Igit as well. It's lovely to see you guys all. And I will hopefully catch you guys next week.